Now same thing here. Now it's the line for xy.
W and what?
Xy is here. It's getting put in the midpoint, so that means xv must be the same as vy. Okay, that's because you have a midpoint. So a midpoint, just think of it, you're just splitting it in half. Okay? It's like, hey, you want a piece of the candy bar? Okay, I'll split it in half. We each have the same amount of candy. Okay, so I'm creating two congruent sides. Now, I did have a couple questions. Pharr, does order matter? Not really. So, like, for example, someone said, Pharr, what if I said VW is the same as VZ? Is that going to be wrong? No, it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay. What if I said VY was the same as VX? Is that wrong? No, it doesn't matter. If I say 2 plus 3 is 5, and I say 3 plus 2 is 5, is that the same thing? Yes, it's just different order.
Is there a time when order matters?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, because I told him that earlier, but
It only matters with the angles. Kind of. Okay. So we go with that? Good? Okay, now, this front page is just dealing with sides. So guys, that whole front page is only sides. Okay, so there's only two ways you can tell me sides are congruent. Reflexive property or definition midpoint. This is the only one you have to be told. This one you gotta look at. Okay, now we're gonna get to vertical angles. Now, this whole page, this page, and the back page is nothing but angles. Okay, so now this one's called vertical angles. Now, vertical angles are angles that are across from each other. The tips of the triangles are touching. They look like they are kissing. Okay? So, how I view this is that also they have the same letter. So, vertical angles are angles that are directly across from each other. And I always make it so, how in my mind, it kind of looks like these two triangles are kissing. Right? You see how they're kind of kissing? Also, they have the same letter. So if you look here, JKL, NKM, what is the letter that they have?
Okay.
So if they have a single letter with each other, that's also a hint that you have vertical angles. So what angle do you think is going to be congruent? Okay. Also, I see two triangles. You see how their tips are touching, like they're triangles? The triangles are touching or they're kissing, right? If I give a little face here, look, there's their face. I gave this one hair the other day. This one can have a hat. I don't know how to draw a hat. I don't know what that is. Let's ignore that. Okay? And then you go like this. You see how like this is a signal that these angles are congruent? Doesn't it kind of look like, or they're kind of like fish. Like they're kind of like fish kissing. Okay? These angles are congruent. Okay, now this is where order kind of matters. Okay, because you can't tell me angle K is congruent to angle K. You need to be specific. Because if you tell me angle K, I'm like, okay, which angle? You're telling me this angle and this angle, this angle. You need to be more specific than this. So when you make an angle, you need to give me 3 letters. Okay, so for example, I'm going to draw a random angle over here. Here's A, here's B, and here's C. Where is my angle going to be? At letter A, B, or C? B. Okay, so my angle is going to be at the B, because it's in the middle letter. So when I call this angle, I don't call it angle B, I call it angle A, B, C. So whatever the angle is being formed, the letter where the angle is at needs to be in the middle. You could have also called this angle CBA. As long as your angle is in the middle between the two letters, you're good. So for example, what would I call angle K on the left side? We can call it JKL is going to be congruent to what angle over here? So now what angle would it look like over here? MKN. Now look, do you see what they have in common? What do they have in common? What letter's in the middle? Okay. Now why are these angles congruent? Because they're what kind of angles? Vertical. Okay, now what if I did this? Can I do LKJ congruent to MKN? Can I have said that? Would that have worked? Yes. It still works. Yeah. Yeah, you can't do K, L, K because that's not my angle. Okay, now look at this. Now let's say you don't like that. You don't like it visually like that. So let's go ahead and let's do another way you can do it. Okay, again, I tried giving you 2 pictures of vertical angles so you can see the different types or how things will be moved. Okay, so I look at the statement, I see B, I see, ooh, what a situation. I screwed this one up. Why did I do this? A, B, C. Oh yeah, look. That's why I did this. Look at C. Look at C. Ignore the B underline. See how C, oh, I like it. I threw myself off. Okay. So they share the same letter C. So where do you think our angle is going to be, our vertical angle? C. So right here. And also look, if you want to see the triangles, look, there's their eyes. I'll give them 2 eyes this time. There they go. I'll give them arms.
And they're also alternate interior. B and D are.
No, there's no parallel lines.
But it's got a transversal, and A and D could be parallel.
It could be, but it doesn't tell you though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It gets picky.
Got it. Oops. Yep.
So, you have vertical angles vertical angles. Now, what angle is going to be congruent? What letter? What letter? C. So C is in the middle. So I'm going to put C down in the middle already, right? And now I'm just going to cover it up. Do you guys want to do A? Okay, then you want to do ACB? Okay, so I just do an A and a B. There you go. I already know C is going to be my middle. Okay, this one I know D and E. So however you prefer to do it. You could have also said, if you guys want, could have said BCA. You could have also said ECB. Okay? But you need to realize that those angles are congruent because of vertical angles. Okay. Do you need to be told you have vertical angles? Like, do I have to tell you anything specific? Like, remember the last one, how I talked about bisector? Or, a midpoint? No, you just need to look at the picture. So it's kind of like reflexive.
Probably the 2 where they're not going to tell you is that and reflexive property.
Reflexive and vertical angles.
Yep, they're not going to tell you, but you need to do it. You need to mark them.
Now this one right here, a lot of kids get screwed up. Okay, this one that everybody struggles to see. It's kind of hard to explain a little bit. But what alternate interior angles is that it's a congruent angles that are formed by parallel lines and are opposite of each other. So do you guys know what parallel lines are? Do you? Parallel lines, they are the same, but they're also never going to touch. So these 2 highlighters are the same. Let's just not even worry about their color. They're the same. They're the same shape, they're the same size, right? So they're the same. Okay? Are they ever going to touch? No, because they're parallel. But what if I do this? Are these parallel? Good. So parallel lines are lines that will never touch and are also the same, technically. Okay? So, are these parallel?
Yeah.
Are these parallel?
Yeah.
Are these parallel? No. Are these going to be parallel? Do you think, imagine if they just kept going, would they end up touching? So they're not parallel. Okay, so you can only use alternate interior angles if I tell you have parallel lines. So you must have parallel lines. Now what's going to happen is it's not going to say the word parallel. It's going to show you this symbol. This symbol means parallel. So right there. That means parallel. So you're going to get a statement that looks like this. If I say JK is parallel to LM, you know you must have alternate interior angles. Vertical angles, I don't tell you anything. You just got to look at the shape. Are the triangles kissing? Great, you have vertical angles. This one right here, parallel means alternate interior angles. So, the symbol for parallel. Now here's the thing. Sometimes it confuses you and doesn't give you the lines, but instead it will give you the symbol. So the symbol. Imagine here's 2 lines. And on those lines I draw little arrows. Those little arrows means that these 2 lines are parallel. So when I say JK is parallel to LM, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put an arrow on JK. I'm going to put an arrow on LM. So now I know that those 2 lines are parallel. Okay. Now, how do alternate interior angles work? So alternate interior angles, again, is congruent angles that are formed by parallel lines and opposite of each other. So the angle has to be on the parallel line. So can I put the angle here? No, it's not on the parallel line. Can I put the angle here? Yes. Because it's on the parallel line, right? It's going to be on it. So I'm going to put the angle here. Now, again, here's one triangle. I put it on angle K. Right? We'll just use letters. I put it on angle K. Now, where it's its congruent angle, it's going to be opposite. So what's the opposite letter of K?
J. L.
L. So opposite, right? Opposite. There you go. So do you see how they're alternating sides, right? It's not right next to it, so it's got to be opposite of it. Okay, so those two angles would be congruent. Now, how do I write that? Again, guys, you got to do the 3 letters. So if you are good at labeling, you're great. I labeled it perfectly. I'm just going to put K in the middle, and I'm going to put L in the middle. Right? Because that's my angle. So what combination of letters do you want? So what should go first? If we're just focusing on this triangle. So you guys want to put J or L first? So J, and then that means this must be L. Now this one, what do you want to put first? M, and then we have to put K. There you go. So you say JKA, JKO is congruent to OK. So those what alternate interior angles look like. Okay? We good? Okay, now, again, what else do we have? We have another set of parallel lines. Okay, we have another set. Where's my guy? I'm trying to see if I have my blue marker. Okay, so now I'm telling you that JL and KM are parallel. So JL and KM are parallel. Now, do you notice when our only option is J or L? Where do you think we should put the other arrow at? I mean, our angle at? J? Are you sure? No. L. Remember, alternate interior angles are opposite of each other. Would J and M be opposite? No. Opposite. So L would match with. So then I can go ahead and say that angle, and you know what, I suck at labeling, so I'm going to put an L in the middle. And you know what, I suck at labeling, and I'm going to put a K in the middle. All I got to do is pick the other letters. I'm going to do J, L, K, and then over here, I'm going to do, let's do L, K, N. There you go. Pictures on here so you can see what else is there. So this is how that kind of picture look like this, but like this one, you're going to see a lot of alternate interior angles with pictures like this. Okay. So LG is parallel to JM. So LG, JM. Cool. So what 2 angles do you think are going to be congruent? So let's pick a letter over here. You guys want to use L, G, or H? G. G. Okay, we'll use G. G works. What is G going to match with? J. Yeah. G and J. That's it. Okay. Wait, let me show you something. Could I use L? What would L match with? N. Okay. Well, guys, do you know something else? Besides alternate interior angles, what else do you see?
H.
What's H? What is that?
Midpoint.
That's also vertical angle. I'm not going to put that on there, but I just want to say, hey, guess what? It's going to show up. You can have multiple things happening, which is what's going to happen down the line or the road. That there's going to be a bunch of things happening. Like same thing here. What do you see here? Remember this property?
Starts with an R.
Reflexive.
Reflexive
So
property.
Reflexive property. So soon you're going to put everything all together. This is just giving you an idea of what things are though. Okay. Now here's the thing. See how these 2 triangles aren't really sharing each other? So I could just say angle L is the same thing as angle M. I can just put one letter because L and M are completely 2 different separate angles. But do you see how K is technically an angle for this triangle, so you have to be more specific. This one I don't need to be that specific, right? And then same thing, I could say G and J. Okay, this one I don't have to be so specific because that's an ugly J. That's an ugly G. Here, I'll put the little J like that. Okay. Because you see how there's only one G, there's only one M, there's only one J, there's only one. Make sense? So I can just do the one line. Okay, now that's confuse you. But technically, if you have parallel lines, there's also another option it could be. Okay? There's another option it could be. Is corresponding angles. So corresponding angles, you have to be told you have parallel lines. Okay? Now, corresponding angles are congruent angles formed by parallel lines which cause matching corners to be congruent. So matching corners. So remember, alternate interiors are alternating corners. Corresponding is their matching corners. So like everybody look at this. Look at the triangles. Look at the triangles. Look at the pictures. I'm going to tell you they're parallel. There's parallel. Look at the pictures. Everybody analyzing the pictures. Now let's look at this picture. Do you guys see the difference in types of pictures you're going to see? Do you guys see the difference? Kind of get the idea of what different pictures, what they look like? So that's why. Look, these triangles are right next to each other. You see this? They're right next to each other. These triangles are across from each other. Or touching each other. Now look, let's look at this one. So you must have parallel lines. Also a good way to do it is angle, skip, angle. This will make sense when I do it. So AB is parallel to CD, so let's leave that. AB is CD. Okay? So there's my parallel. So what two angles would be matching? And let's start with B. So what angle would B match with? Okay, she says D, which is right. So how does she know she's right? Well, look. Congruent angles formed by parallel lines which cause matching corners to be congruent. Would B and D be a matching corner? Yeah. So if I took this triangle and I slid it, would D be on top of B? Yeah. Okay, so it works. What about angle, skip, angle? So why I did this is that, look, you have an angle, we skip the angle, then we have an angle. Okay, so we can do it that way, whatever you prefer. So, can I just say angle B is congruent to angle D? Can I write that one? Can I say angle B is congruent to angle D? Can I write that? No. You know why? Doesn't this triangle also have an angle D? Doesn't that triangle also have an angle D? Mm-hmm. So if you say angle B is congruent to angle D, which D are you talking about? So this time you need to be specific. Okay. Unlike this one, is there another G over here? So if I say angle G is congruent to angle M, no. This one has two D's, right? You have a D on this triangle, and you have a D on this triangle. So you need to be specific. So if I'm going to be specific, what letter needs to be in the middle on the left triangle? B. What angle needs to be in the middle on the triangle on the right? D. And now you just fill in the letters. So what do you want? You want A or D there? A. So we're going to go A, and then we'll do B, and then D. Okay. Now, D is in the middle, so we want to pick C or E. You guys want C or E?
C.
You said C, E, in there. You go. This one. You guys get the idea? Okay, what about this one? AB is parallel to CE, so AB, CE. Where would my parallel lines be? A, and where would the other one be?
C.
C. Now remember, you can't say A is the same thing as C, you need to be specific. So, because we need to be specific, I'm going to put A in the middle here, and I'm going to put C in the middle here, and now we just do the letters. B, A, C, and then we'll do E, C, D, and then I got to get the angle symbol. Okay, last one, people. Definition of an angle bisect. Okay, so again, you can use alternate interior angles when you've been told you have it. You can use corresponding. You can use corresponding when you told you have parallel lines. Angle bisector is you have to be told you have a bisection. Do you guys know what a bisection is? If I say we bisect, I bisected it. You're cutting it. Now bi means two, so you're cutting it into two parts. But what an angle bisector is, you're cutting it in half. So think, remember the midpoint? Remember the midpoint, how I said, hey, guess what, if I cut in the middle, we have two congruent parts? Well, same thing. If I made an angle, and I said, I want some of that angle, you're gonna give me half of that angle. So for example, here's my angle, and let's say this angle is 100. And I said, that's a lot of angle, and I'm going to bisect it. How much angle am I gonna have over here? 50. How much angle am I gonna have over here?
50.
So are these technically two the same angles?
Yes.
Yes. Now why is that true? Because we have a bisection. So that's what a bisection is doing. Okay. So you must be told you have a bisection. Okay. Now if I look here, BD, so what line is bisecting? BD, so our line BD is cutting our angle ABC. So do you see how this pink line just cut our big orange line? So that means this section, that means this section and this section would be the same. Now look, write the letters. Okay, so remember, what letter needs to be in the middle? B. And what letter needs to be in the middle over here? B. Also B. Right? So this is going to be angle. How do you want to call this angle? We'll focus on the top picture. How do you want to call that angle? She wants to call it ABD. What do you want to call the bottom one? Huh? She said C. We'll do CBD. There you go. Now why is that one true? Because of the bisector. Now let me show you something too, people. You guys want to know this trick? What two letters do you see? B and D. You see that? So
Starts
wait,
with
what's
an
so
R.
special about B and D? What was B and D? The BD was the cutter. So your cutter will show up twice. All you have to do is put the other letter. So if our cutter is BD, what's our only other option for the top triangle? A. If BD is our cutter, what's the only option here? Okay. So look right here. See how that works here too? You can just say, oh, BD. So I'm just going to do BD, BD, and then I just got to put what letter? I just got to put either an A. Oops, what did I do? I either have to put an A or I have to put a C. So like, if you did this without even looking at the picture, what two letters is these two angles going to share?
AC.
Okay, AC.
And that also means the angle bisector is a what? Starts
So what
with an
you
R.
say is yes. Look at the angle bisector BD. What would this be? What property could that be to? So they're sharing the same sides, which is called the
The reflexive property.
Good
I
job.
was to say that these
Yeah.
sides are the same. Yeah. So you see how it shows up? You're going to get two of the same thing. Okay, so AC is bisecting, right? So let's do the left triangle. What letter is missing from A and C? So yeah, DAC. Okay, great. What about over here? I got it. I put a little lamp. I put like messed up here. Okay, so this is a little cheat sheet. Okay, this is a little cheat sheet for you to use. I recommend making sure you don't lose this, and I'll make this look a little prettier. Okay. This is a little cheat sheet for you to use. This is going to stick around for a while. Okay, this will stick around for a while. Okay, so what you're going to do now is, did you guys all grab